when the weather gets bad and the tide gets high, then we have oil in the area.
We're in Bay St. Louis, which is basically on the border of Louisiana and Mississippi, where as you can see a massive oil boom stretching all the way out. It continues to snake for many miles. In fact, the entire region seems to be cordoned off one way or the other. Those who are on boats, still some pleasure boats, have to circumnavigate their way so far beyond where they're wanting to go that many have just simply given up.
The oil spill that happened at the Deepwater Horizon is only 100 miles south of here. And we was hoping we would miss it, but it is showing up now.
The spill turns out to be much greater than we're being permitted to observe. The media, already blocked from the worst-hit areas, must often be able to swim or crawl to bring back shots like these.
The waters are closed. You can't catch anything and take it home or sell it or anything else like that. So commercial fishermen and people that go out there and do that stuff. But the only good thing about it, like I say, is that they're all employed basically under BP now on a different capacity than what they normally be. So.
While that's the official position from both BP and government officials, everyday fishermen are witnessing a different story.
I've been trying to get hired on for 2 months. I have 3 boats I put on, and I've been in the seafood business all my life, which is 38 to 40 years I've been in it, and I haven't been hired on yet. And they keep telling me next week, next week, next week.
Here on the Gulf Coast, people not only fish for livelihood and such, but there is also sport fishing, something that has made Louisiana and neighboring Mississippi very popular. And Jeremy, you're a sport fisherman.
Yes,
How has the oil spill affected you?
They closed all the fishing areas down, so you can't really go out anymore. And most of the people you see go out of the harbor have life jackets on, which means they work for BP. So no one's really been able to go out fishing because they have all the areas closed. So.
It turns out very few people we saw on the scene were the compensated fishermen the mayor was telling us about. You are probably the A-plus material. Wouldn't it make sense to hire you first? Why wouldn't they?
Well, that's what I thought. I don't know, but I hadn't been hired on. And there's probably, in this harbor, there's probably about 8 or 10 of us that hadn't been hired on. And out here in Biloxi, there's even more than that hadn't been hired on, which should have been hired on from day one. They should have been hired on because some people, one fisherman in this harbor has been a shrimper for 43 years, and he's not even hired on.
A lot of the times you see the workers, and they're just standing there around, and they're getting paid pretty good money to just stand under a tent all day. So they're looking up and getting money when, like the commercial seafood people and everything, should be getting it first.
Though they refused to talk to us on camera, moments later, several neighboring workers, the ones sitting under the tents, attempted to harass the fishermen for taking an interview. This oil disaster seems to have created foes where there might have otherwise been none. Meanwhile, the fishermen who have given their boats to the effort have found their vessels damaged, with promises still these 88 days later that their boats will be repaired.
I was told that the fiberglass boats and the wooden boats were going to be considered contaminated. So I heard that BP is going to be buying back some of their boats, because they won't be able to put them back at work.
Though fulfilled promises and livelihoods both seem to be in short supply, a frustrated Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Florida can only wait and watch as the once blue-green waters of the Gulf of Mexico continue to turn brown mile by mile.